James Bond producer Barbara Broccoli recently confirmed that the character and films will be reinvented for the modern world. Let's get into this here. In an interview with The Guardian to promote the Prime Video reality series, I'm not sure actually sure it's a Prime Video series. I think it's like an Amazon Studios production, but it's just being broadcast over in the UK. I'm not sure if it'll be broadcast here in the United States. But, anyways, it's called 007 Road to a Million. She was promoting that. She informed the outlet that there are plans for the character to be, quote, reinvented for the next chapter, albeit she and other executives, quote, haven't even begun that process yet. However, The Guardian's Tara Conlon added that the next film would have to reflect the way the world has changed in the 2 decades since Craig was confirmed as the sixth 007, and pointed out that Bond has often been reinvented. Broccoli went on to justify why she believes the character needs to be reinvented for the modern era, pointing to Pierce Brosnan's GoldenEye film, as well as the recently concluded Daniel Craig era. As for GoldenEye, she said, I go back to GoldenEye when everyone was saying the Cold War is over, the wall is over, Bond is dead, no need for Bond, the whole world's at peace, and now there's no villains, and boy, was that wrong. Colin also added that Broccoli informed her, quote, that modernization is necessary whenever a new actor plays the part. To that point, she discussed Craig's era of James Bond, noting she and other Bond producers, quote, wanted to focus on what a 21st century hero would look like. Daniel gave us the ability to mine the emotional life of the character, and also the world was ready for it, Broccoli said. I think these movies reflect the time they are in, and there's a big road ahead reinventing it for the next chapter, and we haven't even begun with that. So clearly, she does indeed want to reinvent it for the modern era. But finally, she reiterated that she has no plans to take James Bond to television outside of the reality program. She said, "We make the Bond movies for the big theatrical screen, and everything about the Bond movies is for audiences to see around the world on that format. So we've not wanted to do television." As for what this reinvention of a Bond might look like, while they said they haven't actually begun it, we have seen them commission, albeit this isn't the films, this is the novels. But we have seen the people that publish the Bond novels publish this book on His Majesty's Secret Service, which turns Bond into basically a woke parody of himself. I've talked about this in a previous video, but he basically is just trying. The villains are the people that oppose wokeness, and Bond is trying to basically oust them. And the whole premise is that these villains are trying to do a coup. But there's a whole chapter basically explaining that the reason why they want to do a coup is because they oppose wokeness. So it's just absolutely cringe, terrible, and one can just assume that if indeed they do something like this for the modern world, it's just going to bomb at the box office, and no one is interested in seeing anything like that. And that's not really what James Bond is about. Anyways, he's not about defending wokeness, which does seem to be what the modern Western world is all about. James Bond is not about that. So, what do you make of Barbara Broccoli and her basic promise that she's going to reinvent James Bond for the modern world?
Subscribe for more.